Hi, I'm Pat, and I serve in the Broward Church Women's Ministry. Several years ago, in the course of studying the Bible with a friend of mine, we started reading about the arrest and the trial and the crucifixion of Jesus, particularly the characters around the cross. We started reading in John chapter 18, verse 2 through 5. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the grove, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and Pharisees. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "I am he," Jesus said, and Judas the traitor was standing there with them. My friend asked the question, how could Judas betray Jesus? We had to keep reading on. We moved to the trial that was hastily and illegally called in the middle of the night in John 18, verse 12 through 14. Then the detachment of soldiers with its commander and Jewish officials arrested Jesus. They bound him and brought him first to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jews that it would be good if one man died for the people. But he was a high priest and a religious leader, she said. How could he get away with that? In the next few paragraphs, she learned how one of Jesus' closest friends reacted to this shocking arrest and interrogation by the religious leaders. We read in John 18, 25 through 27. As Simon Peter stood warming himself, he was asked, "You're not one of his disciples, are you?" He denied it, saying, "I am not." One of the high priest's servants, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, challenged him, "Didn't I see you with him in the olive grove?" Again Peter denied it, and at that moment a rooster began to crow. Why did Peter lie? She asked. Even Jesus' closest friends deserted him. I told her that the Jewish leaders could not carry out their plan to execute Jesus. They needed a death sentence from the Roman governor, Pilate. We read in John 18, 35 through 40. "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "It was your people and your chief priests who handed you over to me. What is it you have done?" Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jews. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You are a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You are right in saying I'm a king. In fact, for this very reason I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." "What is truth?" Pilate asked. With this he went out to the Jews and said, "I find no basis for a charge against him, but it is your custom for me to release to you one prisoner at the time of the Passover. Do you want me to release the King of the Jews?" They shouted back, "No, not him. Give us Barabbas." Now Barabbas had taken part in a rebellion. My friend questioned Pilate's question. Do you think he really wanted to know the truth? I don't think so. The nightmare of this narrative continues to Golgotha, and we read in John 19, verse 23 through 24. When the soldiers crucified Jesus, they took his clothes, dividing them into 4 shares, one for each of them, with the undergarment remaining. This garment was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. "Let's not tear it," they said to one another. "Let's decide by lot who will get it." So this is what the soldiers did. As she was hearing this for the first time, my friend could not fathom this. "You mean the soldiers nailed him to the cross and then they gambled for his clothes?" She had a hard time accepting the fact that all of the people around Jesus had failed him on so many levels. I told her, "These are not some characters in a story. I am each one of these characters. I'm each one of these people. I'm like Judas the traitor, deserting God's plan for my life and selling Jesus out for my own dreams, my life, my way. I'm like Caiaphas, a religious hypocrite that calculates how I can get Jesus out of the way for my own ambition. I'm like Peter, where fear can control me and lead to lying and denying my one true friend. I can be like Pilate, playing politics and people-pleasing because I can't handle the truth. And for sure, I'm like the soldier who drives nails of sin into an innocent man. It's my treachery. It's my religious hypocrisy. It's my lies. It's my people-pleasing, just like all the characters around the cross. Wait a minute. My friend had one last question. Are you trying to say that we are responsible for this? I feel like you're trying to blame me, like it's my fault. I feel like you're trying to pin this on me. At that, my friend walked away from our Bible study and refused to continue. When I consider that I'm capable of the vilest of things and culpable of all of these things, I know I need a Savior. And I thank God that He gave me Jesus. His sacrifice on the cross changed my story forever.